Welcome to the story of the Liberty One dime, a journey of silver, symbolism, and serious value. From early American mints to modern auction houses, this is the complete tale of one of America's most iconic small coins. The story begins in 1796, the first year the United States struck the 10-cent coin, known as the dime. The term dime comes from the French word dime, meaning tithe or tenth. In its earliest days, the coin was much more than change. It was a symbol of a growing nation. The 1988 Liberty Roosevelt dime coin, often overlooked but deeply woven into the tapestry of American coinage. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He had led the nation through the Great Depression and most of World War II. Because Roosevelt had also been a strong supporter of the March of Dimes campaign to fight polio, it was fitting to honor him on the 10-cent piece. The design was created by John R. Setnick, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. His initials, JS, appear on the base of Roosevelt's neck on every dime. The D Mint mark stands for the Denver Mint in Colorado, one of the major facilities of the U.S. Mint. In 1988, Denver produced tens of millions of dimes. Despite being mass-produced, the 1988D dime has gained attention in recent years from collectors due to its role in minting history and the occasional error coin. Over 800 million 1988D dimes were struck and released into circulation. These coins were made of copper-nickel clad, not silver, as silver had been removed from dimes starting in 1965, because they're still relatively young and made from durable metals. Circulated 1988D dimes are very common and usually worth only face value to 10 cents. But not all dimes are created equal. An uncirculated 1988D Roosevelt dime, especially one graded MS67 or higher, can fetch a good premium among collectors. In mint state condition, MS62, MS63, $1, $2 MS65, around $5, $10 MS67, $50, $100 plus top pop MS68, could fetch $200, $400 or more, depending on the market. Here's where things get interesting. Error coins. Some 1988D Roosevelt dimes feature off-center strikes, clipped planchettes, missing clad layers, doubled dies. One spectacular error was a 1988D dime struck on a cent planchette copper, which sold for several $100s. Looking through pocket change. Here's what to look for. Sharp strike and full torch lines on the reverse, indicating a full band's variety. Luster and nowhere for mint state condition. Unusual coloration or weight may indicate a planchette error. Reputable grading coins graded by PCGs or NGC are more desirable. The 1988D dime is part of the modern era of U.S. coinage, post-silver, when copper-nickel became the norm. While most of these coins have no silver value, they represent the continuation of an American legacy, one rooted in both everyday commerce and national pride. To most, it's just spare change. But to a collector, the 1988D Roosevelt dime can be a tiny time capsule reflecting the minting technology, economy, and artistry of late 20th century America. Whether circulated or uncirculated, pristine or flawed, every coin tells a story. US Mint official site, PCGS and NGC coin price guides, numismatic blogs and forums, Coin Talk, Reddit, Our Coins, local coin dealers and shows books, a guidebook of United States coins, Red Book. In your pocket, you might find a coin that seems ordinary, a single dime. But what if that dime told a story of America's economic shifts, minting technology, and hidden rarities? Today, we turn our focus to the 1970 Roosevelt dime, often called the Liberty One dime, and explore its history, geography, errors, and the rare finds that make some of these coins worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. The Roosevelt dime was first issued in 1946, the year after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. It was designed to honor the man who led America through the Great Depression and World War II, and who famously supported the March of Dimes campaign to eliminate polio. Chief engraver John R. Setnick designed the coin. His initials, JS, can still be found at the base of Roosevelt's neck, a detail that sparked controversy in the 1940s, when some mistook the initials for those of Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin. In 1970, Roosevelt dimes were minted at two primary facilities: the Philadelphia Mint No Mint mark, the Denver Mint D Mint mark. Additionally, proof coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint and Carrion S Mint. Each of these mint locations gives us key insights into how many were made and which are worth looking for. Let's take a closer look at the mintage numbers. 1970 No Mint mark, Philadelphia, approximately 345 million. 1970D Denver, approximately 754 million. 1970S proof only, approximately 2.6 million combined. Nearly 1.1 billion dimes were struck in 1970, making them quite common in everyday circulation. Coins from 1970 were made from copper-nickel clad composition, a copper core with a nickel outer layer. These replaced silver dimes starting in 1965. Making the 1970 Roosevelt dime one of the early coins from the post-silver era circulated. 1970 dimes are generally worth face value, just 10 cents. But uncirculated and proof versions, especially those graded by PCGS or NGC, can hold significant value. Value estimates, as of 2025, 1970 DMs 65, $5, $10, 1970 DMs 67, $40, $75, 1970, no mint mark MS 67, $100 plus, 1970s proof PG 69 Cameo $15, $30, 1970, ese proof PR70 Deep Cameo, $100, $250. The key here is condition and rarity. Collectors pay high premiums for coins with full bands FB on the reverse torch, a sign of strong strike quality. High-grade surfaces with no marks or discoloration. Proof Deep Cameo finishes with contrast between frosted designs and mirrored fields. Some 1970 dimes are worth far more than you think if they feature a mint, arrow, or variety. Here are some of the most valuable off-center strikes, coins not properly aligned during minting. Value: $50, $300 plus clipped planchets. Part of the coin is missing due to a misfeed. Value: $75, $250, missing clad layer. A copper core shows through, rare and sought after. Value: $100, $500, 1970s proof doubled, die reverse, rare doubling, on lettering or flames. Value: $250, $1,000 depending on severity if you suspect a coin has an error. Don't clean it. Submit it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC for evaluation. The 1970 dime is part of a unique transition era in American coinage, one marked by the shift from silver to clad coinage, the use of new minting technologies, the evolving role of proof sets and collector's editions. It sits between the silver Roosevelt dimes, 1946 to 1964, and the fully modern issues we use today. When examining 1970 dimes, look for mint marks D or S and the absence of one Philadelphia full bands on the torch. High-grade details, no visible wear, especially on Roosevelt's cheek and hair rod, weight or coloration may indicate a rare planchette error. Clear mirror fields and frosted devices for proof coins use a 10x loop or magnifying glass, and compared to reference photos from coin guides or trusted online databases. The 1970 Roosevelt dime may not be the rarest or oldest coin in U.S. history, but it's a valuable chapter in the story of American coinage. It reminds us that even a small, everyday object can connect us to great leaders, powerful movements, and hidden treasures. So the next time you hold a dime, take a moment to look closely. It might just be worth more than 10 cents. It might be a piece of history. Annual Pricing Guide, PCGS Coinfax, Trusted Info and Auction Records, NGC Price Guide, Grading and Value Reference, U.S. Mint Archives for official mint reports, coin forums, CoinTalk, Reddit, R-Coins, and more. What if a coin in your pocket held more value than its 10-cent face? What if it carried a legacy of leadership, craftsmanship, and even mystery? Welcome to the story of the 1994D Roosevelt dime, or as it's often called, the Liberty One dime, a modern coin with hidden gems for collectors and everyday explorers alike. First minted in 1946, the Roosevelt dime was designed to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. His connection to the March of Dimes, a campaign to fight polio, made him the perfect face for the 10-cent coin. The coin was designed by John Arsenic, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. His initials, JS, still appear at the base of Roosevelt's neck today. In 1994, Roosevelt dimes were minted in 3 major locations: Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark; Denver Mint, D mint mark; San Francisco Mint, S mint mark. For proof coins only, the coin we're focusing on today. The 1994D Roosevelt dime was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado. Each facility played a role in producing hundreds of millions of coins for circulation and collectors alike. Let's look at the mintage figures from 1994. 1994 Philadelphia, no mint mark, approximately 1.16 billion 1994D. Denver, 1.23 billion 1994S. San Francisco, proof only, approximately 2.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. Over 1.2 billion 1994D dimes were struck at Denver, making them incredibly common in circulation. These coins were part of the copper-nickel clad era, which began in 1965 after silver was removed from circulating U.S. dimes, although most 1994D dimes are only worth face value. Collectors look for pristine examples, uncirculated coins with strong strikes and nowhere circulated condition. 10 cents, MS62, MS64, $1, $3, MS65, $5, $10, MS67, $25, $50, MS268. Top population, $100, $300. Collectors especially seek examples with full bands on the reverse torch, clear, distinct horizontal lines indicating a perfect strike. These are designated FB by grading services. While most 1994D dimes are mass-produced and uniform, a few rare error coins stand out and can fetch big money from collectors. Top known errors include off-center strikes, part of the design is missing or misaligned. Value: $50, $300 plus. Clipped planchettes. A curved section is missing from the coin's edge. Value, $75, $200. Wrong planchette. Errors. Coin struck on a foreign or cent planchette. Value, $500, $1,000 plus die cracks and cuds, raised metal from cracks in the die. Minor examples. $5, $50 struck through debris. Coin features, part of it, foreign object or material. Value varies. These errors are rare, but they do exist. Check your change. You never know what you might find. Here's what to look for if you're hoping to find a valuable 1994 D dime. Mint mark D below the date, uncirculated luster, no scratches or wear full bands on the torch. Striking errors or odd coloration. Unusual weight could signal a wrong planchette. Always use a 10x magnifying loupe and handle coins by the edges. And for serious coins, consider professional grading from PCGS, NGC or ANAC. The 1994 D dime is part of the modern clad series of Roosevelt dimes spanning from 1965 to the present. Though not as sought after as silver dimes, these modern coins are gaining popularity, especially in high-grade condition or as part of complete year sets. In the future, pristine modern coins may become increasingly scarce, making today the best time to search, collect, and preserve. The 1994 D Roosevelt dime may not seem special at first glance, but in the right condition or with the right era, it transforms from spare change into a collectible artifact of American history. Look at your coins closely. What seems ordinary might just be extraordinary. A guidebook of United States Coins Red Book, Annual Pricing Guide, PCGS Coin Facts, Coin Details and Auction History, NGC Price Guide and Census Reports, Grading Population Stats. The 1997p Roosevelt dime, better known to some as the Liberty One dime. Behind this simple piece of pocket change lies a fascinating tale of American minting, rare errors, and overlooked value. The Roosevelt dime first entered circulation in 1946, 1 year after the passing of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a leader who guided America through the Great Depression and World War II. Roosevelt was also closely linked to the March of Dimes, a campaign to fight polio. In his honor, the U.S. Mint placed his image on the 10-cent coin. The design, by John R. Setnock, features Roosevelt's left-facing portrait on the obverse and a torch flanked by an olive branch and oak branch on the reverse, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. The P on the 1997 dime indicates it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint in Pennsylvania, one of the oldest operating mints in the world. While the P mint mark had only begun appearing on dimes in 1980, by 1997, it was standard practice for Philadelphia minted coins. In 1997, the Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 1.2 billion Roosevelt dimes with the P mint. These coins were produced in copper-nickel clad composition, a copper core, surrounded by a nickel shell, replacing the 90% silver dimes that ended in 1964. Because of their massive quantity, most 1997p dimes in circulated condition are worth only face value to 10 cents. Not all 1997p dimes are created equal. Some escaped into the world without ever being handled, scratched or worn. These are uncirculated coins, and their value can surprise you. Current value estimates as of 2025: circulated 10 cents MS63, uncirculated $1, $2, MS65, $5, $10. MS267 with full bands, $30, $75, MS68 top pop, $100 for $100. Collectors especially value coins with a strong strike that reveals full bands FB on the torch's horizontal lines. These details show expert minting precision and are rare in high grades. Now let's talk about what every collector dreams of: errors and varieties. Even in a common year like 1997, a few extraordinary mistakes slipped through. Offset strikes, part of the coin's design is missing or shifted. Value $50, $300 plus clipped planchettes. A curved piece of the coin is missing due to minting error. Value $75, $200 plus double die obverse DDO, slight doubling on letters or numbers on the front of the coin. Value $50, $500 depending on strength. Missing clad layer core copper shows through, often making the coin look reddish. Value $100, $500 plus. Struck on wrong planche, a dime mistakenly struck on a foreign coin blank or a penny blank. Value up to $1,000 plus. These rare coins are often found by sharp-eyed collectors who inspect their pocket change. A simple coin scale and magnifying loupe can help you find a small fortune. If you want to become a coin detective, here's what to look for on a 1997p dime. Check the mint mark. Look for a clear P under the date. Examine the torch. Look for full bands across the horizontal lines. Inspect for doubling. Check the words "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date where the coin. It should weigh 2.27 grams. Lighter coins may be errors. Look for odd coloration. A copper-colored dime might be missing its nickel layer. Keep it untouched. Avoid cleaning, and send unusual finds to grading services like PCGS, NGC, or ANACS. The 1997p Roosevelt dime sits firmly in the modern clad era of U.S. coinage. Though not as glamorous as silver or gold coins, Modern coins are increasingly collected for minting precision, condition rarity, era hunting, educational and historical value. These coins represent the era of digital cash registers, coin-operated machines, and the last days before digital payments took over. The 1997 Roosevelt dime is more than a coin. It's a piece of American design, labor, and economy. Whether you find one in change or tucked in a coin jar, look closer, you might just hold a rare era, a mint-state gem, or a small treasure, lost in plain sight. In the world of numismatics, even a dime can be priceless. The last step, 1969D Liberty 1 dime, also known as the 1969D Roosevelt dime, a coin that bridges America's mid-century history and modern coin collecting. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 following the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a towering figure in American history. Roosevelt led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. Roosevelt was also closely connected to the March of Dimes, a campaign to combat polio. His support for the cause made him a fitting figure to replace the winged Liberty head or Mercury Dime. Designed by John R. Sinnock, the Roosevelt dime features the president's left-facing portrait on the obverse, and on the reverse, a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch representing liberty, peace, and strength. The D mint mark on the 1969D dime indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado, a major production hub for circulating U.S. coins. The Denver Mint is known for its large-scale production. In 1969, it played a vital role in providing coins for a growing post-war American economy. The 1969D Roosevelt dime had a mintage of approximately 563 million coins, making it common in circulation but still collectible in high-grade condition. Outer layers 75% copper, 25% nickel core, pure copper diameter, 17.91 millimeters weight, 2.27 grams like all dimes minted from 1965 onward. The 1969D contains no silver. Silver coinage ended in 1964, marking this dime as part of the modern clad era. In circulated condition, 1969D dimes are worth just face value. However, uncirculated specimens, especially those with sharp strikes and high grades, are much more valuable. Circulated average wear, 10 cents Ms-62 Ms63, uncirculated, $1, $2 Ms65, $5, $10 Ms67, $40 $75, Ms268. Top population $150, $300 plus. Full bands designation FBK can increase value by 2x or more coins with the full bands designation, where the horizontal lines on the torch are fully visible and separated, are especially desirable among collectors. Though most 1969D dimes are standard, a few rare era coins and varieties have been discovered, and they command much higher prices. Coin is struck misaligned. Value ranges from $25 to $200 depending on severity. Coin has a curved or straight clip due to miscode planchette's value, $50 to $150. Debris or grease affects the coin's design. Value $10 to $75 depending on impact. A dime struck on a cent or foreign coin blank, very rare. Values $500, $1,000 plus. A 1969D dime with exposed copper core looks reddish. Value $100 to $300 plus. If you find one of these errors, avoid cleaning the coin and consider having it certified by PCGS or NGC for accurate valuation. Here's a simple checklist for finding a potentially valuable 1969D dime. Look for a sharp, uncirculated coin with full luster. Examine the mint mark D under the date. Use a 10x loop to check for full bands on the torch. Weigh the coin, it should be 2.27 grams. Watch for off-center designs or unusual coloration. Check for doubling in the lettering or date. Even a common coin can become valuable with the right combination of condition and rarity. The 1969D Roosevelt dime represents an important point in American numismatic history. Post-silver coinage era. After 1964 Cold War and space race period, growing reliance on mass production at U.S. mints while not rare in quantity. The 1969 dime holds value as part of complete year sets, mint mark collections, and in high-grade condition. To some, it's just a dime. But to collectors, historians, and the curious, the 1969D Roosevelt dime is a small but powerful artifact of presidential legacy, evolving mint technology, and the hidden value in everyday things. Take a closer look at the coins in your pocket. You might be holding a piece of history.